National History Museum of Romania. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Bucharest, Romania. We're back. We're back here in Bucharest, and today we are here to see what is right across the street, right in front of me here, and that is the National History Museum of Romania. All of Romania's storied history, all inside that building. It looks like they have a pretty extensive collection. Pretty excited to see it, so come along. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to help out the channel and help it grow, I really would appreciate it. Click on the like button down there, the subscribe button, and the little bell next to it to be notified for when new videos drop. It really helps the channel grow because it's going to help the YouTube algorithm recognize this content and spread it to other YouTube viewers. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, I would appreciate that as well. You can leave a super thanks by clicking this thanks button here and give a small donation to the channel. I appreciate your support. So back to the video. Enjoy. Before we head into the museum, I'd just like to point out, I noticed this right across the street. This is like CEC Bank Museum. It's like, or headquarters, CEC Bank headquarters. I just wanted to point out how amazing this building is. This has nothing to do with the rest of the video. Who knows? This may not even make it into the video. It's a very cool building. Anyway, I think we head across the street. We figure out how much it costs to get into the museum. The museum itself also in a very cool building. I mean, let's take a look at it. It is a very, very cool building. I'm very, very impressed by the architecture here in Bucharest, in the few places that we have been able to go to. The thing about Bucharest is it is a big city. It is a big city, and in the short amount of time that we're here, we're definitely not able to see like anywhere close to all of Bucharest. But we're able to see some highlights. One of those highlights right here, the museum, National Museum of History. All right, let's go. Okay, we're inside. 20 lei to get in. 20 lei, very good price. It's like $5. And right here, there's 2 floors, I'm told. Also, this building, very cool on the inside as well. There are some posters on the outside that said there's a temporary exhibit that is basically like this street that's right out here, shown from like 1900 to 1970, which I think would be really cool. I'm hoping that is still around. But before we head off into the rest of the museum, right here by the ticket office, this caught my eye. It says "Mai Iutica Mortea," 70 faster than death, 70 years since the first operational ejection of a Romanian military pilot. How cool is that? So before we venture into the rest of the museum, let's check this out real quick, since it's right here. The ejection seat. If you've watched other videos on this channel, you know we're kind of obsessed. We're kind of obsessed with like airplanes. We've been to like military museums. We've been to a couple of aviation museums. One of them more than a couple actually. We went to one in Chile. We went to one in Ecuador. We went to one in Argentina. We went to a military museum in Mexico and different other ones. Oh, this is really cool. Looks like they're filming an interview over here. We'll try not to disturb them. Cool. This is super cool. All the different flight suits, ejection seats. Ejection seats are wild, man. Something that I definitely would never want to experience. because the like force that they're launched out of a plane, they have rocket motors attached to the bottom of them because they have to separate the pilot as far as possible from the crashing plane in order for them to like get their parachute open. But can be very, very dangerous, and a lot of times pilots end up with like spinal injuries, compressed vertebrae, and things like that from the amount of force. This is wild. Like I said, I think right around the corner they're filming like an interview for some sort of a documentary, so we won't go over there and bother them. But very cool to see all of this. The ejection handles, a little survival manual on how to survive at sea. And the first Romanian pilot to eject in one of these things 70 years ago. 1955. Crazy. All right. That is a cool little primer to what we're going to see in this museum. So here on the ground floor, the temporary exhibitions, which that ejection seat one was already one of them. So we've seen one of 5 total here on the ground floor. At this end, about as far as you can get subject matter wise from ejection seats, we have Ceramica Sudista di Romania, ancient Romanian ceramics. Very cool. Not so ancient. So not all of these so ancient. I mean, these is 20th century right here. But it looks like some of these are going to be significantly older in here. Oh, here's an interesting one over here. The symbol of the Communist Party of Romania. Right there. It looks like this is Cadorile primite de Elena și Nicolae Ceausescu. Which I imagine, did these belong to them? That'd be interesting. Are we looking at the Ceausescu's plates? Did they have the symbol of the Communist Party on their plates, or were these like gifts? It's possible these were gifts. Very cool. Now the thing in the center here, or around the corner, the other temporary exhibition, something about ancient, like Serbian cathedrals. Should be really interesting to see. Serbia, of course, right next door to Romania. They are neighbors, and of course the borders over the many, thousands of years have changed back and forth. The area, here's Serbian medieval monuments in danger. Like I mentioned, the area, of course, has been controlled over the many thousands of years by different empires. So borders shift. The current borders of current countries, not what they always were. Look at this stuff. These look like replicas. Some coins, glassware. It's really cool relief. Stone. What do we have in here? Oh, cool. These two look definitely like replicas. some replica of an ancient scroll, a very old scroll. This is in... What alphabet is this? Let's play what alphabet is this? This looks like Cyrillic, but like kind of pretty old Cyrillic. I mean, I see like Cyrillic letters that I recognize. Let's see. This is Grakanika? Grakanika? I think it's Grasanika Monastery. Church, the Annunciation of Grasanika Monastery, built the efforts of Serbian King Stefan Uroš the Second, 1282 to 1321. So we're talking 13th century, 13th and 14th century. Pretty old. Not the oldest stuff we've seen, but pretty old. Man, this is something. One of these days, we're gonna have to go to Serbia. I don't know if it's gonna be in the future, in the not too distant future, in the distant future. But at some point, we gotta get to Serbia. Oh, looks like there is a cartography section that I'm super interested in. I love looking at old maps. Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is probably the most famous thing in this museum. Trajan's Column. A piece of Trajan's Column. There it is right there. They're doing some work in this area, so we can't get any closer, but we can see it from right here. And if you go downstairs, it's like you can see it takes up 2 floors because it's so gigantic. And of course, this is just a piece. This is like at the base of Trajan's Column, the famous Roman artifact. Very, very cool. It's too bad they're doing work here, but it is cool to be able to see it at least from back here. I think there's more downstairs from down here. Really amazing. And they have all these other like sections of it, pieces of it. Here we have more permanent. This is, I think, permanent exhibition down here. It's very purple in here. Whew. We have some really very impressive gold jewelry here. Wow. What is this stuff? What era are we? We are in the 16 and 1700s here. Cool. Wow. The crown. What is this? Crown of Corona de Oțel Regilor Romaniei. I don't know. Crown. Someone's crown. Yeah. Oh. Crown worn by Queen Elizabeth at the proclamation ceremony of Romania as a kingdom. Ah. Okay. And the royal crown of Romania. Made from the steel of a cannon captured at Plevna during the Independence War 1877 to 1878. That's sick. I mean, anybody can just make their crown out of gold, but it's a pretty big flex to take a captured cannon from your Battle of Independence and make it into your crown. That's like some Game of Thrones shit. I love it. Giant silver fruit bowl. This is a very large section. Look, it goes all the way down there. All the way down and around through here. With all kinds of artifacts, swords and giant gold plates and scepters. Super fancy necklaces with giant gemstones. Tiaras. It was wild. I gotta say, the purple paint, purple everything down here, it's a vibe. It's seriously a vibe down here. I've been in a lot of museums, and I have yet to be in a museum gallery where the entire thing, including all the walls, all the backing, and the matting on all of the cases is all purple. It's an interesting choice, but I vibe with it because I like purple. There's a lot of gold down here. Man, we've seen a lot of gold in a lot of museums in a lot of different countries. This stuff here, much older. This is Roman. Yeah, late Roman jewels, earrings, necklaces, 3rd and 4th centuries AD. This is Roman Empire stuff. It's wild. Classical 4th century Getic princely hoard. It's kind of hard to read these signs because they're printed on the glass, but yeah, this is from a princely hoard, the Getic princely hoard, or Getic princely hoard, discovered in the 4th century. Crazy. Is that what you did if you were a prince back in the 4th century and you had a bunch of gold? Just hoard it somewhere, so like 1,000 years later someone can dig it up, put it in a museum in this very purple gallery. What is this? Holy cow, look at this thing. Wow. Scepters. This is like Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, false grail that dude drank from and then shriveled up into a raisin. If you know, you know. Also a giant gold hand. Honestly, not the first giant gold hand we've seen. These crazy, wild medieval necklaces. I mean, some of these are just ridiculous. Look at that thing. All right, let's go and try and find the cartography. We may have found the maps. There's a giant map here. What are we even looking at? This is Moldavia. So this is definitely an old map of the region. Moldavia and Bessarabia. This is the eastern part. I mean, it's hard to tell. Definitely hard to tell what I'm looking at. This is what is Romania, so this is now Bulgaria. There's the Turkish Strait. the Bosphorus. Down here into the Mediterranean Sea. This would be Greece, I guess. It's wild. Here's a more modern map of, this is a 1924 map of Romania. There's Bucharest, where we are. Progresele Dobrogei. This is like a region, Dobruja. Dobruja is a region that's like southern Romania and like part of Bulgaria also. This is, I guess, like progress from population and also like foodstuffs and how much like agricultural stuff there was over the years. This is the Minister of Agriculture, Commerce, Industry. Interesting. Another map, 1637, this map. 1637, yeah, Greece, Turkey. Here's Romania up here. Fragment, moon rock fragment. Oh wow, look, it's a moon rock fragment with some stamps painted on this. What is this? Small fragments collected by crew of Apollo 11 mission. Were given to the Romanian people by the crew of Apollo 17 mission while visiting Romania in 1970. Huh. Cool. And a little Romanian flag. See, this is interesting because that visit and this gift is on behalf of Richard Nixon, the United States. You know, we talked about this in that video we made about Ceausescu, about how Romania was able to, under Ceausescu, was able to like have really good diplomatic relations with not just other communist countries, but like non-communist countries as well. The United States, other countries in Western Europe. Very interesting. What are these? These look like very important medals. Star of the People's Republic of Romania. We also have in here portraits. Portraits of pretty famous old Romanians, I guess. This guy is Prince of Moldavia. Moldavia, not to be confused with the country of Moldova. Moldavia is actually was part of, I don't know, it's like a older term for a region in this area, Moldavia. Back in the, when there were princes and kings. Jewelry cabinet, 1894. Beautiful. There's a lot of very cool old artifacts here. Oh, look at this. Here it is. A throne. A throne of Queen Elizabeth of Romania, which means Queen Elizabeth, her famous butt, sat right there on that throne. Cool. Old music boxes. Old. What is this? Symphonium music box. A stereoscope. Fancy fans. Fancy china. This is with the monogram of Princess Elena Cuza. Expensive stuff owned by very famous old royal people who are long dead. I mean, that's It's kind of what's to be expected in a history museum. What do we have here? Some old swords. A revolver that belonged to King Ferdinand of Romania. King Ferdinand I of Romania. There's his revolver. Not to be confused with King Ferdinand of Spain. So that's it for the museum, the National Museum of Romanian History. That was pretty cool. You know, a lot of stuff in there is closed right now, unfortunately. And there are some temporary exhibitions that were pretty cool. Definitely not as much in there as I thought there was going to be. I think that's partially because some of the exhibitions are closed for renovation. But I think because they have different temporary exhibitions, you never know what you're going to get with a museum like that. The different temporary exhibitions, what you're going to get when you arrive, depending on when it is that you arrive. But still, a very cool experience. And honestly, not that much to get in. 20 lei, which, like I said, is about $5 US. Definitely worth it. If you're here in Bucharest, come over and check it out. Like, it's also in a neighborhood that is like pretty close to Old Town. In fact, which we featured Old Town in some of the other videos. You know, like Old Town is basically just to the left here. You go, you get into Old Town from here. But I think that's going to be it. It's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And there's more coming from here in Bucharest, a little bit more at least. Actually, not in this case. Normally the last video that we make from any city that we visit is a video touring the neighborhood and showing off where we've been staying. And I actually planned to make that video for here in Bucharest, but unfortunately when I got to editing that video after we had already left Bucharest, I realized that a great deal of the footage, in fact, like everything except like the first 30 seconds of the footage was corrupted. So unfortunately, no video. I did stay in a very cool kind of neighborhood that is just on the edge of Bucharest called Pantelimon, famous for being the home of 1990s Romanian gangster rap legends BUG Mafia. Anyway, it was a nice stay in Romania. I really enjoyed my time here in Bucharest, but of course it is time for us to move on. We're moving on to a new city, a new country, so stay tuned and you'll see exactly where we end up next. So stick around for that. We'll see you in the next one.